Okay, and then we are live. So if you want even to wait for more people because we have only one person at the moment, it's totally fine. So anyway, let me introduce you. The first session we have today is called Moving the European XR Industry Forward. We have 3 members of an association called XR4ALL, and then I left the floor and the stage to Youssef to introduce the session and then invite participants to join. And I will go on spamming your session.
Thank you very much. As a short introduction to the session, it's about XR4ALL and the outcomes of XR4ALL. XR4ALL is a project which has been supported by the European Commission to forge a community in XR, and it started 30 months ago, and we are gearing towards the end of the project, and we are looking now at the sustainability of the project. You see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So a few words about myself. So first of all, there will be 3 different things, 3 different parts of the session. I'm going to introduce XR4ALL. Then I'm giving the floor to my 2 colleagues, Sylvain and David, to introduce themselves and to introduce XR4 Europe. And there will be a discussion at the end of the session. First, few words about myself. I'm Youssef Sabah. I'm project lead manager at Tech2 Europe. Tech2 Europe is based in Belgium. And Tech2 Europe, together with its sister companies, we do connect active entrepreneurs, innovative entrepreneurs, with corporates and with investors for those who are looking for funding, to allow them to establish smart partnership and drive their innovation. I am managing the project XR4ALL, and I'm responsible for an open call which was launched as part of XR4ALL. What is XR4ALL? It's a coordination and support action which was funded by the European Commission. It was selected sometime in 2018 already, so we are far in the project, almost done, starting in 2018 December, and it runs until the end of August 2021. The project has a budget of 3 million euros, which is 100% funded by the European Commission, from which half is dedicated to third-party funding to attract and select projects and give them funding to develop their idea. The project is run by 5 partners. First of all, the coordinator, Fraunhofer. Fraunhofer is the Europe's largest application-oriented research organization based in Germany. The second partner is BICOM. BICOM is a technology research center based in France. Then Stereopsia. It's a non-for-profit association. You might know it because they organize every year a big event in December dedicated to all forms of XR. Tech2, which is a name changed from Europe Unlimited. We are a networking company between entrepreneurs and investors and corporates. And LucidWeb, based in Belgium, is an SME active in WebXR, and is also active in mapping of the XR ecosystem. What was the context when we submitted our proposal to the Commission? We realized that the European XR landscape faces strong competition with the big American and Asian companies and is fragmented. We realized that there is a lack of European developers platform to allow solution developers to easily develop their solution. It was difficult to raise enough investment for those who bring solutions, XR solutions to the market. In Europe, there is no common research agenda in XR, and there is a weak link between research on one side and the market on the other side. And for this reason, there was a call which was fitting for this purpose, and we submitted a proposal with 6 objectives. The main objective was to forge a competitive and sustainable ecosystem of European interactive technology, being providers and users. And as sub-objectives, we had 6 sub-objectives. First of all, was to establish a pan-European community to coordinate and foster collaboration among members. Second sub-objective was to provide this community and to provide developers with a common platform to ease the development of XR solutions and to promote sharing their solutions after they are developed. The third objective was to scope, launch, and manage an open call to select projects and fund them to develop their solutions. And the next objective, fourth objective, was to develop a concrete research agenda for the upcoming 3 to 5 years and a vision for the longer term, 5 to 10 years. And then also to facilitate technology transfer from research to markets and investments. And the last one was to shed some light on the XR industry, so the projects, the players in XR, and to attract a maximum number of applications for the open call, and to bring some lights on relevant applications in XR. So in terms of community building, we developed a portal, which is a central point where you can find information on the activities of the project, as well as the members of the community, so sharing information. The project has participated in international events, workshops, fairs, and either gave talks or done networking at these events. We organized also many workshops, webinars, together with other representatives in the community. We organized twice 2 annual events together at Stereopsia each year in 2019 and 2020. We engaged 31 ambassadors on a voluntary basis, leading expert groups in different fields of XR. And from these ambassadors, 15 special interest groups have been formed and are active, discussing, sharing opinion, and discussion channels have been created for each of the groups. In terms of developers platform, our colleague Bcom has developed a developers platform, which is an open source alternative to commercial development software development kits. It's a kind of GitLab, allowing at least the projects funded by XR4ALL to use the platform and develop their solution and share it. And together with this platform, we have put in place a solutions catalog. For the time being, we are promoting the solutions which were funded by XR4ALL, but later on it will be open to share other XR solutions on this catalog. Regarding the research agenda, a first version was prepared in 2019, and the final version was prepared by end of 2020. The versions are promoted on our website, and currently we are formatting them as wiki pages so that the community can provide direct input and feedback to keep them live after the end of the project. We hope that it will be well adopted by the community, and the community will contribute to them because it is a tool for the community. In terms of open call, we launched an open call with 3 cutoff dates, and the principle of the open call was to select 50 projects to go into a first phase where they demonstrate the feasibility on business side and on technical side of their idea. And for this phase, they got 10,000 euros. And in the second phase, half of the project are selected to go to the second phase. They get a bit more funding to actually develop their solution. And 25 projects have been selected for this phase. And if we count 50 projects in the first phase and 25 projects in the second phase, it makes a total budget of 1.5 million to be given out by XR4ALL to develop solutions. And we expect at the end of the project to have 25 projects finalized, which means 25 MVP ready for market. So far, the first cohort is completely finished and 8 projects are already available on the market. 9 others will be finished in June and 8 others will finish in August. In terms of support for startups and investors to bring kind of solutions to the market, to bring financing to the innovative entrepreneurs in XR, we first mapped the ecosystem to understand who invests in the industry. Then we organized several webinars and workshops to support XR entrepreneurs on how to get ready to pitch or to present their business to investors or to potential partners. And we organized so far 2 investment events, one in 2019 and one in 2020, and each investment event selected more than 30 companies to pitch in front of a panel of investors. And the third one will hopefully be organized in December this year. Promoting XR achievements, which is more dissemination side. Our social media channels and newsletter were put at the service of the XR community, where we are always happy to share news from the industry, from the community members and achievements in the industry. And we have other channels, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook, which we also use to share stories in the industry. In summary, what have we achieved so far in 30 months? We have a community with more than 1,100 members registered in the community. We have a portal where we share stories, we share information with more than 50,000 visits. We have 14 established special interest groups and active and discussing their specific topics. We have organized 2 annual events and 2 XR Venture Forums with more than 300 participants. We have received for the open call more than 390 applications, out of which 50 were selected, so it was very competitive. So 50 projects selected for phase 1 and 25 selected for phase 2 and receiving funding of 1.5 million euro. We have produced a landscape report which is available for the community, and we have produced a research agenda which is also available to the community. We have interviewed more than 111 stakeholders to produce the landscape report and the research agenda. We have more than 1,500 followers on our diverse social media channels, and reached more than 4,500 stakeholders in total, participated or organized 77 events and meetings as part of the project, and most important as sustainability point, the project is creating is creating an association at the end of the project. It is part of the sustainability of the project. It will represent the community. It will continue some of the activities of the project after the end of the project. And this is the topic my colleague Alain, Sylvain is going to continue after me. I don't know, David or Sylvain, who is taking the floor now.
Yes, we all stay. Thank you very much, Youssef, for this first part. I will continue by talking now about the future of XR4 Europe, the new organization that we are currently building, continuing with the work being done and currently being done by XR4ALL. And then David Naum will talk, as is one of the current partner of XR4ALL and one of the founding members of the new organization, and we'll talk about what it's doing for so many years in immersive technologies and content. So I'm going to share my presentation to give you more information about XR4 Europe now. So, as Youssef already very well introduced, we are talking about XR in Europe and how to help pushing forward XR at the European level for professionals, industries, companies, and institutions. In a very nutshell, as Youssef made it greatly, so everything started with XR4ALL, European funded project, 3 years ago, and this project is about to end this year in August. And one of the missions that we've been given by the European Commission at the moment of doing this XR4ALL project, raising a community of XR professionals and making series of activities to support these ecosystems within Europe, was to prepare for the future. So now that we are coming close to the end of the project, we are currently working on the next step. Youssef already told you about what are the achievements of XR4ALL. I will just point one detail, which is the who. So XR4ALL is gathering a community of individuals, of professionals, but alongside these more than 1,100 members so far, we partnered with 17 organizations within Europe, mainly cluster or national associations, but also sectorial vertical organizations. Alongside most of these partners, we are now preparing the next step, which is the creation of a new pan-European non-for-profit organization, fostering the potential of XR for the benefits of XR professionals in the continent. So from the XR4ALL project, we are now going ahead to XR4 Europe organization. Obviously, it can be evident for most of you that are aware of European funded projects. The fact that XR4ALL will end in August doesn't mean that what has been done and assets, the resources actually available on XR4ALL website won't be available anymore, and that's why we are preparing a new organization. It will remain available. All the tools currently on the website will remain accessible, including one of the important achievements made by the program members, which is the research agenda mentioned by Youssef and the landscape report. That have been two tools that drove the new Horizon Europe program. But on the community side and on the activities that we want to keep continue doing, XR4Europe will take the lead at the end of XR4ALL, if I may say. So about XR4Europe, the idea, the mission, may we say, is to keep federating professionals within the continent, working with immersive technologies and content and research to gather individuals, but also organizations and initiatives in order to support the development, to promote it, and to represent XR in its different aspects. XR innovation, XR industry, and XR creativity, all made in Europe. That's the goal of our association. We are not alone, and the big difference between XR4ALL, which was a consortium-based program with 5 partners, is that the new organization is currently being funded by 12 partners. We are very, very proud of, and David is one of the representatives today. So to name them, we have AFXR, so David will tell you a little bit more about AFXR, the French National Association, Euromassive, which is a European association, FIVR, the Finnish VR Association in Finland, France Immersive Learning from France as well, the Helsinki XR Center, as well named, based in Helsinki, Immersiva XR, which is the new Spanish organization for XR professionals and companies. I am, and I forgot to present myself, sorry, representing Stereopsia, so one of the consortium members of XR4ALL and founding member of XR4Europe. In a nutshell, we at Stereopsia are organizing since 2009 a forum, an international event dedicated to immersive technologies and content. So it was not as natural and obvious for us to keep supporting the industry, the ecosystem, and the professional by being one of the founding members of XR4Europe. One of the consortium members and founding member of XR4Europe is Tech2, represented by Youssef today. And we also have the pleasure to have Virtual Switzerland, VRBB, which is the Berlin-Brandenburg Association of XR Professionals, Staki, which is an institute of research from Hungary, and XR Nation, which is a network of XR professionals in Nordic and Baltic region. So now we are currently creating legally the association that will be officially start within a few weeks. Our proposal at XR4Europe is to work on several key missions that XR4ALL started to work on, and we will push it forward. The first point, and it was one of the main actions driven by XR4ALL, is to facilitate startups and SMEs access to funding. It's one of the key mission of the new association. Of course, by federating professionals, our goal is to impulse new collaborations, and to make new XR projects possible by fostering encounter and collaboration between different members from different countries within Europe. Another mission that we started through XR4ALL and we push in XR4Europe is to build bridges between XR users, so the companies, the professionals, the institutions that need XR solutions and technologies, and the providers, the developers, the creators. Of course, we will promote what is being done in Europe. And so the excellence in different fields of XR, may they be in research, in industry, or in creation. And to finish with will be the voice of the XR sectors towards the European institution, but also abroad and around the world. So why joining XR4Europe? If you are an XR professional, what would be the reasons to come on board? To answer the funding access through XR4Europe, we will be able to help you to help raising funding for innovative solutions in XR in Europe. You will have the opportunity to network with the European XR community, which will be growing and growing as the funding members and the new members to come are driving thousands of members in different territories. You'll be at the leading edge of XR insights and trends in Europe. So we will continue with organizing activities, webinars, conferences to share knowledge and give access to our members. Obviously with traditional tools like newsletters, and by funding the organization with different members coming from different territories, the idea is to access information from all over Europe and be at the forefront at an international level as well. An important point that has been pointed by the work of XR4ALL and the research that we've been driven is the need for regulation and to representation of XR professionals in future European regulations. So we will work on this topic as well. The very reason of the creation of our community is to tackle the fragmentation of the European XR industry. The current point is that there's a lot of initiatives and organizations within Europe. The need is to connect everybody and together, and that will be one of the main missions of XR4Europe. And to finish with, to be the voice to promote and represent the XR Made in Europe label, may we say, throughout the world. So through our activities, individually as funding members or through the program of XR4ALL, we all have connections with international associations and organizations. And through XR4Europe, we will be this voice and we will push forward conversation and collaboration at an international level as well. In a nutshell, contrary to XR4ALL that was and he is still gathering individual members, XR4Europe will gather different kind of members. So what we call the full members will be actually made of the consortium members of XR4ALL, the current funding members, and other organizations, may they be national associations or networks or cluster that represent XR communities within Europe. Our associate members will be companies, may they be a provider or user companies, universities and research centers, public institutions, public bodies, non-European organizations representing other communities outside of Europe, and European XR funding projects. And of course, we will have our doors wide open to individual members, may they be XR professional or researchers, students, and so on. You can already go to our webpage and keep it in mind, even if it's just a landing page, but please subscribe to get in touch with you. We will have soon way more information available on the website, and hopefully you will be interested in joining us to give Europe the extended reality parade needs and deserves. So thank you very much. I let the floor now to David, and after David's presentation, we will be pleased to answer your questions.
Thank you very much, Sylvain, and thank you for the opportunity to be here presenting. Let me share my screen. A few words about me. Do you see my screen? Yes? Okay.
Yes.
So I've been into the XR industry for more than 25 years or something, and thank you, Silva, for pointing that it's not too recent and I'm not too young. Still, I have been very happy to see how XR has settled in France in particular, in Europe, and how it really emerged from a niche to now a super mainstream, or will be a super mainstream area. I come originally from the content, doing installations and interactive work for the general public, for museum and exhibitions, so in the creative industries. And I happened to have joined a software editor that was called Virtuals. It was kind of the Unity of the year 2000, so kind of toolbox to create content. And we actually built this first game engine that was able to run in an XR context. And I happened to have joined Dassault Systèmes because Dassault Systèmes acquired Virtuals. And now I am actually in charge of innovation around XR for the Dassault Systèmes group, and that happens within the 3D Experience Lab, which I invite you to visit. I mean, the website, it's really where Dassault Systèmes open innovation is happening, and in particular, all the immersive emerging user experience and interaction are coming. So sorry for this bit long background, but I have been one of the founding members, indeed, of the French AFXR, which actually is the merge of two former associations, and it is actually a cluster of individuals in all the domains that you see on screen here. So any professional, any person who is working in VR or with VR is there in France. And basically, I'm going to skip that, but we are very much aligned with what XR4Europe is actually building. And so this is not by chance that we are there. And why are we there? It's because we are totally convinced that uniting ourselves together makes us stronger. And Europe is a very scattered continent, as opposed to the US, and Asian countries are probably bigger and more powerful than Europe. So I am a very, very fan of joining forces in general. So the purpose of our national association is the very same of the purpose of the European one. So XR4Europe is a kind of super association of associations. So it's really the biggest group of professionals that you could imagine in Europe in this XR world domain, and that's quite exciting because we indeed have the opportunity to make big things together. So we'll see what really happens, how these grouping will eventually lead to something really big or not, but I have the feeling that it's the time for that. Enough for now. Just to say that my main job is to produce observe this domain and produce and inform both my collaborators in at Dassault Systèmes about the trends indeed, and about the vision that I could have about that domain. So I hope I can give some light on this area, but I see that the time is flying, so time for questions. Just Sylvain, could you tell us when is our when is the discussion supposed to finish? Just because I kind of need to accommodate my agenda.
Thank you, David, for your very brief presentation. Fabrizio, can you help us on this?
Sure, absolutely. So basically, you are in a session, and this means that if there are people and they want to talk with you, we will not stop the session. So basically, let's say you have the standard time is still a quarter of hour, so 15 minutes, but hey, if there's a lot of people who want to know more, and I'm sure there will be some people who want to know more about your incredible and very distributed initiative, so you can stay online as much as you want until 5 p.m. at least. After that, I have to close it.
Okay. And so for the questions, can we yes. hear you in the audience or only see the Q&A?
No. You have 3 ways. So, and also for the audience. So you can write the question in the chat. So just write them or use the Q&A. You can even create a pool. So you see in conversation pools and you create your one. Or if you prefer something more interactive, what I suggest to the audience is to raise their hand. I will see them and I can invite on stage and they can talk with you, and then they can address their question directly to you. So let's say there's no excuses to be too shy or too... There's a lot of ways they can interact. Yes, absolutely. That's the goal of the event. Interact, meet, speaker, talk with you. So now it's really up to you.
I'd like to, before the arrival of 100 questions, take the opportunity to talk more about yes, the current dynamic, the very good vibe, we could say, with the creation of this new organization. XR4ALL as a project has been so far very successful, especially because it was a good match between the level of thinking and information that was provided alongside 2 key elements: funding. So hopefully we had the opportunity to have this grant program, and the community. So how to generate interactions between people working on similar topics from all over Europe, but also the world, in the sense that XR4ALL was open to people, European and non-European. And even if XR4Europe will be a European-based organization, we will actively foster collaboration with international organizations and promote what has been done within Europe in other events and opportunities. That's what we naturally do at Stereopsia in our event, is to connect people, and that will make sense. But never forgetting the first key missions, which is to support the local ecosystem through regulation, through funding, through collaboration in research and thinking, building projects together, so such as European funding projects, to strengthen the community within Europe, and then to be better at promoting it abroad. So I see the little yellow spots.
There is a question indeed, Sylvain, and I think it's for me.
Yes, if you wish, I can read it. Yes.
So I will read it because it's for me. For a project to qualify for funding, does it have to be a business oriented? What is the scope of the projects that are funded presently? So two questions. First question, there is indeed an element, a business element in what we were looking, in the sense that we want to create a certain impact for XR4ALL and impact for the projects funded. So they had to come with an idea which could potentially go to the market at the end of their funding. So they have 6 months and something to be developed within those 6 months, and where there is a kind of business model behind it. The second part, what is the scope of the projects? 50 projects have been funded. Well, it is very, very broad. We had some hardware projects, we had some software projects, plugins. It was really very, very broad.
And now it's not possible to apply anymore.
Now it's closed because, I mean, we are supporting the last projects which were selected in the last call,
Yeah.
but no more new calls coming.
But if I can, there's a raise a hand, Milad. I will invite you. I have a very quick question, and then I will invite Milad. So you talk about the last, let's say, call for Horizon 2021. Do you think there will be more project, or you will help company in Horizon 2021 to create a partnership and present ideas in the XR, let's say, domain?
Let's say Horizon Europe is the next work program. The new calls are not published yet. It's still a bit a kind of secret at the Commission because it's not published, it's not available, although we have heard few things here and there, but nothing is sure yet. We expect that some calls will be launched by end of May. And we hope that there will be at least one call to fund, let's say, to provide third-party funding. But we have to see it coming. Someone has to make a proposal to get it and to start with it. So it's a matter of a year. It will not come before this time frame. Immediately, I know about another project which is also giving funding to third parties, which is VAM Reality. I have the link somewhere, but I need to find it.
Hello?
You're jumping on stage with your motorcycle.
Yes, it's in a Casa de Fel. Most of the young generation goes to this area and grounding this street. First of all, I'm so sorry for this voice. Thanks you for having me. First of all, I appreciate from Fabricio and this guest has a very wonderful program. Now I have some question about the programs. As mentioned, Sylvain mentioned to Helsinki University project. Could you mention me and what kind of a project do they work for? More information, for more proposal, I would like to know on more research about this XR technology and see more things. At this time, I'm in Casa de Fel UPC University. I studied drones and I would like to shift it back my programs and find some opportunity in this phase and working with some bold mindset people. As Peter every time mentioned that, I'm interested to this program. If you send some details to me, I appreciate from all of you. Thank you so much.
Hello, Milad. Just to be clear, so the Helsinki XR Center is not a university, but it's been created and it's funded by a university which is called Metropolia in Helsinki. but you've got different university and schools already having XR component or fully XR-oriented diplomas within Europe. I saw that you're based in Barcelona, in Spain, and actually there are initiatives in Spain regarding XR studies. So I haven't got an exhaustive list, and it's actually one of the topics that already may I say, coming. It's to map the different diplomas in your university and centers for students interested in learning more and studying XR, and obviously until the research lab for higher studies. So I see that David have a few minutes left, so if I can let David saying a few words before leaving, it would be great. And Milad, I invite you to subscribe to the newsletter of XR4Europe if you're interested in, but search within the XR4ALL database among the members and among the resources if you want to know more about XR.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, as a conclusion, what just I would like to say is that in all cases, the value here is with the fact that we break silos. So basically, if you're a research lab, you want this to become maybe other spin-off that brings value to users, and people would like to meet, to share, and all that. So basically, all are about bridging the gap between the silos and do cross innovation. I'm sorry, I have to leave. I'm expected on another meeting here, so hope you have a good time, and thank you for the invitation.
Thank you, David. Any other questions? So you already shared the VAM Realities project. And to complete the Youssef's answers regarding Horizon Europe and other European funded projects, may XR4Europe be involved or not in future European funded projects? What we started to do at XR4ALL and will continue with XR4Europe, as I mentioned, is to connect with these projects and support by connecting with other resources or promoting what is being done within this project. So any XR-oriented initiative in Europe will be of interest of XR4Europe. So it's sure that there will be several XR-oriented funded projects within the next Horizon Europe framework. And we at XR4Europe will promote it and support it at different levels depending on our level of engagements, for sure.
And there were a question on the chat. I also put in the Q&A, have you list a project running under XR4ALL initiative? How are you managing all these projects? I mean, the management model and collaboration.
I'm not sure to understand what projects mean. Within XR4ALL, we've been driven several activities, different kind of activities. The grants program has been one. The research agenda, which has been a huge project. We could talk about it for a long time because it involved a lot of different partners and professionals. and the final document is actually the sum of very different activities that have been organized to nourish, to give inputs to make this research agenda, and the other activities that we are running, such as organizing webinars or workshops or annual events, are more traditional in a way. So unless, Youssef, you have another understanding of what project means.
Yes, I guess the question is about the 50 projects supported by XR4ALL. How do we, if we have a list somewhere? Yes, we have created articles when the projects were selected. So the articles are available, they are accessible somewhere on our website. And we are currently planning to create a kind of portfolio to now that it's almost finished, we're going to create a portfolio and publish on our website. Managing those projects, well, 50 projects, it was in 3 cutoff dates, so we did not have 50 projects at the same time. And even now we have 2 cohorts at the same time, but we have 8 in the second phase. We have 16 in we have 8 in the second phase and 16 in the first phase. It's easier because we have cut it in different cutoff dates. Is that your question? Does it answer it?
Also, don't forget you can jump on stage. So if you want more details and you want to discuss your question with more in details, don't be shy, jump on stage and then you can confront them also. So this is my suggestion. So I see there's more question on the Q&A. There's one from Jean-Baptiste.
In order to answer Jean-Baptiste, I greatly invite you to reside the potential maybe for the adoption for users or on the development side of creating solutions and technology is huge, and that's the reason why a good illustration of this reality of the increasing potential for the XR sector in Europe is how the European Commission is putting resources and funding on these topics. So the very reason why the XR4 project was born was to answer this increasing potential for XR in Europe, in order to give tools to the European Commission to drive it in the right way in terms of funding and regulations and so on. And it's increasing and increasing. And there's a lot of interest from outside of Europe looking at what's happening in Europe in terms of development, in terms of solutions, and without saying about creativity and content. So without entering in details, which I wish I wouldn't be able of, I greatly invite you to look at the documents available on the XR4ALL website. So we've got a section regarding the research agenda. I'm going to share it in the chat here, in which you can download the research agenda and another document called Landscape Report that are going until November 2020, that give you a great overview of the landscape of XR in Europe, and the key points of what we and professionals that have been solicited for the research agenda addressed to the European Commission as important orientations to give. Yes, indeed. It's time to launch a couple project. Any other question. It's nice to see that we've got people from very different and distant places within the audience. Youssef is based in Brussels, but for your information, and that's the magic of connection and internet, I'm physically based in Chile, as we are preparing our new Stereopsia LATAM for the Latin American professionals and ecosystem. So I might have seen someone from Peru, if I'm not wrong, but it's great to see people from very different places. Is there any other question? I don't see. From Madrid. Vikas, if you want to come on stage, it's an opportunity that this platform and this great opportunity that Unlimited Realities offers. It's not just a video streaming, but we can interact. So if someone wants to...
Simple, raise your hand. The raise hand the button is in the bottom toolbar under Sylvain image, and we have it.
Yeah, hi, Sylvain. Hello.
Hello, Vikas.
Yeah, hi. Hi, Sylvain. How are you doing? Hi, can you hear me?
We can hear you, Sylvain. You are muted.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes. Tell us more, Vikas, and I think that Youssef will be more than interested to know about your XR accelerator.
Right. I just gone through your XR4ALL, and we were planning to set up a XR accelerator center back in Florence in Europe, and the idea was to set up in Italy. And our focus is we want to set up only for the lifestyle in beyond our planet. Like we want to focus on like living on the Mars or like on the moon, and how do we travel, what kind of fashion we'll be doing on that. So initially we were talking to Polymoda, but because of all this pandemic, things have been on hold, and we want to now, we already plan to shift our plan to New York. Like, but I think you still want to go for Europe. So can we collaborate sometime on that?
And any collaboration is welcome. Even if we, and that's the purpose of XR4Europe, haven't got all the answers, we'll manage to find the ones who will have it. So
yeah, but this is something really crazy. We are talking of the lifestyle beyond our planet. We want to set up like XR accelerator to create this, like maybe what are you going to eat, what are you going to wear, what kind of houses we're going to have in. And that's a project we are doing. It's called 2Mars. So the website is 2mars.space. And we are eager to collaborate on a European community. And we actually made an announcement a year ago, but because of Italy problems, like things are not moving at all. We already established two centers initially in Korea and one XR center in India. But the India one is closed since we opened it because of all this situation. So, but Europe seems to be growing so fast, and like I'm eager if we can do, because Europe is known for this thing also, like for all like fashion and lifestyle kind of thing too. And nothing could be better than like lifestyle for Mars or Moon.
Actually, that's an interesting coincidence, as the last webinar. So we've been organizing several webinars along the project on different trending and key topics. And the last webinar that we will organize within the framework of XR4ALL, and it will take place at the end of August, will be dedicated to XR brand and fashion experiences.
Wow.
With providers, designers, and researchers in these fields. So you can contact us at the contact address at XR4ALL.
Okay.
It's not a false address. We received the email, email and we can discuss it and then connect with the proper people to follow your initiative. With great pleasure.
That will be wonderful. That will be wonderful. I'm sure that will be a good platform to talk more in detail on that.
And by curiosity, you're based in India. You're currently calling from India?
I'm more of a global citizen. My son is Canadian. I was in Canada for 8 years. For the last 5 years, I've been doing a lot of things around XR only in Korea, but I've been doing a lot of startup and investor meet in Europe, mostly in Korea, Singapore, Hong Kong, and Dubai. And my daughter was in Italy, and she was the one who was doing fashion business. So I'm more into XR, she's more into this. And I've been doing a lot of gaming things, and I headed a company from London, where we had 4,000 people only serving for gaming industry. And also had a company called Educom, where I had 65,000 schools with me, and we were doing the education content for this. But now I want to focus on higher education or more of like a space industry, which is very, like, since Elon Musk and all this, like, these are 18 big players. Elon Musk is the only one which is mostly known, but there are 18 big players who are taking the people to the moon and to the Mars. So that's what I want to focus on. And once I got into this, I found there's so much happening, especially in Europe. I found so much happening, which is like not much highlighted. Of course, when you see the news, they talk about the NASA or Elon Musk or Blue Origin kind of people, but there's so much happening in Europe.
Great. So Alain, who's the president of Stereosia, just shared the contact address in the chat box.
All right.
And we'll see how we can connect the European space centers and the European fashion centers for this XR project. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sylvain. Thank you so much. And thanks, Yusuf. Thanks to you too.
Thank you.
Fabrizio, I guess we arrived at the end of this session.
Yes, you are a bit over, but it's great. I mean, the goal, as I said, is connection, collaboration, and I love also the interaction with the car. He's already contacted me. And by the way, in my spare time, not in this day, but in my spare time, I also serve as advisor for a company helping people in space exploration. So, as I said before, I'm sure we can find a way to collaborate in the future. So we will have a lot of things to do.
Great.
So if there are more questions, so let's say we have 5 minutes for an additional question or an additional hand. Otherwise, we can close it here. I would like to thank you again for your time, your appreciation. Apologize for the small delay, but we had to fix some connection problem. We had issues, so we create new session on the fly today because the agenda is pretty packed. We didn't expect that, honestly, and but it's good.
Well, thanks to you for inviting us and giving us the opportunity to talk about what we're doing.
Now, I think, what you are doing, especially, I'm super happy to know now you will open in Europe, because anyone in this space, and I see a lot of questions about anyone in this space need a guide at this moment. There's a lot of confusion, as is always happened. And the idea to have a kind of, as you say, super partes regulation, a super partes people that could help even people to understand what will be the next thing, what they have to understand, what they have even to study. That will be absolutely great, especially for Europe, but as you know, is not so reactive as other countries in terms of technology adoption and even, how can I call it, schooling, way of look at the future and other kind of stuff. So I think it's a fantastic opportunity and project that you are doing now.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Fabrizio, for the invitation. Thanks to you all for attending the session. And we'll be more than happy to have further discussion and answer your question if you write to us through the email shared by Alain in the chat box. And I will wish you a great day. Enjoy the rest of the sessions. And take care.
Thank you.
Thank you a lot, guys. The same for you. So stay safe, take care, and if you will have time to stay with us, it will be great to see you in another session. Bye-bye, and see you all the other attendees around.
Bye-bye.